Cruise news time. Well, normally when we talk about hurricanes and tropical storms, it's usually in the tone of destruction and devastation. Well, Hurricane Nicole, well, she may have saved some lives yesterday. Also, for small cruise ports, Mobile, Jacksonville, Norfolk, Virginia, those kind of places, there's always a concern whether or not the cruise ship that is there will leave. Well, Carnival's coming out in a few days and possibly extending its relationship with one of those small cruise ports. We've got big news coming out from Viking Cruises. And well, I got a special guest today, a special guest with an update on one of the world's newest cruise ships. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your consumption on a Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Anybody stoked for the weekend? It is the 11th of November 2022, and I'm just a few short days from testing out NCL's newest cruise ship, the NCL Prima. And well, let's address the elephant in the room. I have attempted again to add some color to my beard, and I don't think I like it. I don't know how people who color their hair frequently get it right. Here's my challenge. I sit in front of these bright lights every day, and this part of my beard is sheet white now. And so whenever I'm filming in front of these lights, this whole part of my face just becomes white. So I'm like, maybe I could just put a little bit of color in my beard. No, the whole thing looks now like black. And so this might be a one day only. I'm looking for feedback. Please be nice. I mean, look, I've got a weird circumstance where I have to come out here on the internet every day. And so the way my face looks does make a difference. A lot of people say, well, whatever your wife says. My wife's a great wife. She says whatever makes me feel most comfortable. She's very kind that way. She understands the challenges of being in front of the camera. And so what do you think? I'm thinking about just shaving this. I made the mutton chops. I don't know what look I'm going for here. I feel like I look like Wolfman Jack, but I might just shave all of this off. Shave it, keep it. Does it look weird to me because it's new, or does it just look weird? Leave a comment below. Cruise news story number 1. Hurricane Nicole, Tropical Storm Nicole. She was both during the last few days. Made her way through Florida yesterday. Basically uneventful as she made her way through the state. There was some wind damage here and there, but for the most part, not too bad. But she did cause some cruise ships to remain at sea, and it is that remaining at sea that made Hurricane Nicole a lifesaver. Holland America Line's MS Rotterdam was forced to remain at sea to avoid the storm, and because she stayed at sea, she was able to spot individuals whose lives were at risk because they were on a sinking styrofoam boat. That's right, individuals between the coast of Cuba and Florida had made a makeshift styrofoam boat trying to make that crossing, and they were in dire straits when they were discovered and spotted by the MS Rotterdam. The Coast Guard unable to come and give assistance because of the weather. The Rotterdam took those folks on board. Eventually, those folks will be turned over to the Coast Guard, probably returned back to where they came from, but they will not be victims of perishing at sea. And so yeah, I guess if we're going to silver lining this whole Hurricane Nicole, there are souls out there that continue to be on the planet because the MS Rotterdam had to avoid the storm. They saved the lives while riding the storm out. That's wild. It's just wild the way life works out. How about that? Leave a comment below. Cruise news story number 2. Viking Ocean has taken ownership of its next cruise ship, the Viking Neptune. Viking often wins awards for being the best ocean cruises at sea, and one of the reasons they take that award is they provide an all-inclusive high-end experience, small passenger count on luxury vessels, and the Viking Neptune's got some big plans ahead. She's going to be doing sailings around the Mediterranean before she embarks on a world cruise. Viking Neptune has a capacity of 930 guests, and she is significant because Viking is celebrating their 25th anniversary as a company. Of course, Viking's first big push into the cruise space was river cruises, but over the last few years have really established a foothold on the ocean side. It's interesting. I've talked to folks that have been on Viking cruises. They swear by them up and down. Have you ever cruised Viking Ocean? Have you ever cruised Viking River? leave a comment below. Now, I got a couple cool Carnival Cruise News stories coming up for you, including a report from the brand new Carnival Celebration, special guest style. But before we get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. And shout out to the notification squad. You guys are getting bigger and bigger every day. I dream of a time where one of my videos gets 10,000 views in the first hour. The only way that'll happen is if the notification squad shows up. Our best hour ever is a little over 8,000 in the first hour. So it's a stretch goal for sure, but you can be a part of breaking that record for us if you just subscribe with the notification bell and watch that video as soon as it comes out. That'll be cool. Thank you in advance. All right, let's talk about Carnival Cruise News story number 1. The port city of Norfolk, Virginia is abuzz. They call it the Mermaid City. I didn't know that. That's where the mermaids must be. Norfolk is abuzz because Carnival is set to make a big announcement about cruising from that city on Monday. Now, sources say that this will be an extension of Carnival's relationship with Norfolk, and you can already book future cruises out of Norfolk on Carnival going up to Canada. Whatever information may have leaked to the press may be just a teaser to get people to show up on Monday, but I'll tell you what, these small port cities that may have just one cruise ship, like Jacksonville, like Mobile, South Carolina, Charleston, they've lost their relationship, and so it's whenever it gets time for these cruise companies to re-up, to continue to put ships in those cities, it's a big deal. So I'm excited for Norfolk. I'm excited for people that cruise up there on the eastern seaboard, that you will still have that option. Yeah, have you ever cruised out of Norfolk? I've been there for a ship tour one time. It's a pretty cool port, and I can't wait to see what the announcement is. Have you ever cruised out of there? Leave a comment below. And look, if you're wondering what I call my hairstyle, I call it the slee stack. Well, they don't know what I'm talking about when I go to the Supercuts and ask them to give me the slee stack haircut, but do you know what a slee stack is? I'll throw a picture up. I call it the slee stack. Nobody will give you that haircut if that's what you asked for. That's just what I called it. So I got the slee stack and the weird Wolfman Jack beard. It's a crazy day looking at myself here in the camera. All right, let's go out to the Atlantic Ocean for a conversation with our friend Doug Parker. Doug Parker from Cruise Radio. Look, if you want the news and you want it every morning, make sure you go over to the Cruise Radio YouTube channel. Doug does where I don't do a very concise presentation of the news, where I'm meandering all over the place with song references and pop culture. Doug gives it to you, to your face, the news, usually under 3 minutes, and he has the stocks every day. So that's my endorsement of Doug. Plus, probably the most well-established podcast when it comes to cruising, the Cruise Radio podcast. Been doing this for a long time, but yeah, it was great to talk to Doug on the celebration. And well, let's just throw it over there. Doug, how's it been? I heard the weather has been rough, and can you tell us some of the differences, some of the new features on the Carnival Celebration? Doug, what's going on the high seas?
Yeah, Tony, we had a little bit of a rocky start to the cruise as we were sailing on the outskirts of a low pressure system in the northern Atlantic, but things are much better now. As you can see behind me, I'm down here in my cove balcony on deck 5. The ship, though, it's the same as Mardi Gras in a lot of ways, but also a little bit different. Let me explain what I mean when I say that. While the hardware, as in the general layout, is the same, there are some slight changes as far as venues and some extra seating added, things like that, that really make a big difference as you make your way through the ship. Mardi Gras has been known for having a little bit of a congestion problem, and I haven't noticed it here. We're on a sold-out sailing, and day number 5, still haven't had any kind of crazy long lines, except for the peak dining times, I guess. The gateway zone on deck number 6, cool area, a lot different than Mardi Gras, which was the French Quarter. 2 new bars located down there, which is Latitudes, kind of a travel bar, and also the Golden Jubilee, and a lot of additional seating in those places as well as Emerald's Bistro, which is in that same area on deck number 6. Also, just as far as seating, let me just touch on, like, there's new alcoves added in the hallways around the ships, and like little booths that are kind of tucked away from the Alchemy bar. So little things, or little areas rather, that can seat 4 people or so, and a lot of those spaces. So those are really neat as well. And Tony, I know you like the casino, so as far as that, smoking and non-smoking sides of it, but it's legit like you're walking through this invisible wall, because when you're walking from the smoking section to the non-smoking, you can't smell smoke at all. I don't know what kind of sorcery is going on down there, but it's pretty cool how they're doing it. They should actually do that on more ships if they could. And before I hop, I'll leave you with one thing for the cruise geeks out there. there's exhibits all around this ship that are taken from former Carnival cruise ships. So you'll never know what you'll see around each corner. It's like day number 5, and I'm still finding stuff I haven't seen. Like this morning, I found coins that are from the hulls of other ships, welded or put in different walkways around the ships. There's also QR codes by every exhibit to show the history, what ship it came from, and things like that. So I don't know, I'm a cruise geek, so it's cool to me, might not be to you. All right, I have a roller coaster appointment here in 15 minutes. I'm gonna hop, Tony. If you need anything else, please let me know, bud. And as always, thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Doug. From me and the Loca fam, thank you for taking the time out of your cruise to share some of the new experience with us. Gets me more and more excited about the celebration. I'll be on her on November the 27th. I can't wait to check out that new bar area. I do like the Brass Magnolia area on the Mardi Gras, which is now gone, so I can't wait to see the changes. I do like the shout out about the new seating. Sometimes it's super challenging for larger people to find seats on cruise ships. And look, that's just one of the challenges for fluffy cruisers. If you're a larger cruiser and you've never checked out the Fluffy Cruiser Guide to Cruising, I'm going to tell you about all the challenges you're going to have on a cruise ship and maybe how to overcome some of them. Make sure you check that video out next. This is Tony for Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. You got to go shave maybe? I don't know. Leave a comment. Bye.